So think about as well how you might explain it to the other kids and your own to ensure that everyone has a lovely Christmas day. Hello, I'm Ruth Burko, a teacher turned mum, here on a mission to demystify child's play through understanding play schemas. If you've ever found yourself asking, why is my child doing that? Whether it's throwing their soft toys, hiding stones around the house, or lining up their crayons, then you're in the right place, and certainly not alone. Here, we'll explore the magic of play through the lens of play schemas, those hidden, repeated patterns in your child's behaviour that holds the key to unlocking more meaningful play and connection. Through understanding play schemas, you'll be able to move beyond those one-off activities and understand the why behind your child's play. Join me each week as we dive into playful insights that will help you bring more joy, connection, and understanding into your parenting journey, and set the stage for a lifetime of learning. Let's dive on in. Kia ora. If you're here with me right when this episode has come out, you will know that Christmas is just around the corner. And during the excitement of Christmas, it's easy for relatives, friends, and us to misunderstand a child's behaviour as naughty, disruptive, or plain out rude. But by recognising these actions and how play schemas play a part in their developmental journey, we can foster understanding and celebrate their individual curiosity. We can encourage our relatives, friends, and remind ourselves to see the beauty in these moments. We're watching these children learn, grow, and engage in the world in unique ways. We can remind them and ourselves they're not just being difficult, they're being explorers. And particularly at Christmas time, this is something that comes around once a year and there's so much hype, it's really understandable that these kids will be hyped up too. So let's get comfortable, whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house. Let's dive on in and explore how these play schemas and Christmas can really interrelate. By the end of this episode, you'll have a toolkit that will help you navigate your Christmas events. And to help you even more, I've collated all of this into a few pages, which you can either download and keep yourself, or I also suggest share it with some of the people that you'll be around so they can start understanding it before you get into the situations. So have a think how you're going to engage with this. If you would like to get it, head over to playschemas.com/free to nab it. Play schemas.com/free where you can download it. Okay, so let's just think about Christmas Day, some play scenarios, explanations, and some tips and tricks on how you can front foot this. Okay, trajectory. Your child keeps throwing baubles off the Christmas tree or tossing wrapping paper into the air instead of tidying up. You've all been to those houses where the tree is immaculate, I'm sure. So, firstly, explain to your kids before you go if they are in this schema that this tree may not be for touching, or try and front foot it if you can and say, can we please keep the fragile decorations at the top of the tree rather than the bottom? To explain it to these people, you could say there's something called play schemas and our kids are exploring the trajectory schema. With this, they love experimenting with movement, especially things that fly through the air. When they throw that bauble, they're learning about how objects move and fall. They're not just trying to be disruptive and naughty. They're trying to see how they can explore physics and their fine motor skills. So what can you do? You can find some safe things to throw, or maybe you've brought some with you, like a softball, or scrunch up that wrapping paper into balls in a room that they can throw in. You can direct them away from the fragile tree ornaments and to something else that they can do. Okay, see if you know what this schema is. What happens is you get to a house, there's a Christmas tree that has presents all under it, and then your child, while you're out of the room, suddenly starts taking presents from that tree and putting it in the other corner, that tree, and putting it in the other corner of the room. They start setting them all up. Have you guessed? It's the transporting schema. So what you could do is explain to the people there, they're not trying to hide the gifts or they're trying to hoard them for themselves. They're actually engaging in the transporting schema. Kids in this stage love moving objects from one place to another because it helps them to understand space, balance, and coordination. So what you could do is encourage them to help carry the presents to their intended recipient when it's time, or maybe create a delivery station where they can safely transport some other items. This is one of the ones where if you've got other kids around, there could be a few tears and arguments when someone thinks they're hoarding all the presents for themselves. So think about as well how you might explain it to the other kids and your own to ensure that everyone has a lovely Christmas day. Okay, number 3, we're going to think about the enveloping schema. So this is where they wrap themselves up. You know, they saw that piece of wrapping paper in the corner that hadn't quite got round to wrapping that last present, and they've unrolled it all and they've started wrapping themselves up in it. Or they've got a blanket and they're trying to cover the family dog. What you could do is try and explain. So enveloping is when children explore covering or hiding objects or themselves or the family dog. This helps them understand concepts like boundaries and containment. They look like they're having fun, and they really are, but they're not just being silly. They're experimenting with feeling secure and being in control. So what you could do is maybe move the dog to another room. You can provide them with scarves, blankets, or even a large box that they can decorate and crawl into. By satisfying their need to envelop in a safe and structured way, they'll be able to be content in what they're doing. Or maybe the dog's fine with being wrapped up. Wait and see. Okay, number 4, again, I want you to see if you can guess what the schema is. So your child is spending the entire time spinning the Christmas tree ornaments, or maybe they're turning the wheels of the new toy car, or maybe they're just spinning in circles the whole time, ignoring the gift opening. Have you guessed it? This is the rotation schema. So to explain, you could say, hey, they're exploring the rotation schema and they're fascinated by how things spin or turn. Twirling helps them develop balance and coordination. And while observing spinning objects is like watching a science experiment in motion. So what you could do is think about where they can do their spinning, if they can do it safely. If they're just spinning the toy wheels on the floor, just say, hey, they actually can do that for a little while. Maybe you can move them to another room where they can, or maybe show them the top of a music box and how it works with a spinning toy. Acknowledge their interest before redirect them back to these festivities. Or maybe, is it okay if they're just in their own little world while other people are opening presents? Number 5 is the connecting schema. You look at the Christmas tree and you realise there's not as much tinsel on it as there used to be. And then you notice them under the table with meters and meters of tinsel, tying it together and then tying up all the chair legs. And they're insisting on trying to connect everything in the whole room. Everyone's looking at them like, are you going to stop this kid? What they're doing is you could explain and say how they're exploring how things link and work together. Connecting schemas help kids learn about relationships between objects and strengthen their problem-solving skills. What you could do is say, hey buddy, that's actually for the tree because we're all celebrating together. Maybe you could provide them some paper to make paper chains out of, or if there's any Lego or Duplo around, things that they can connect and disconnect together. Giving them something that can satisfy their outlet for connecting without removing everything from the tree. And before I go to the next one, I just want to say, with all of these, we're not trying to condone behaviour that is seen as naughty. We're trying to see how we can maybe redirect or understand how it is, so that on Christmas Day and every day, you're not just getting frustrated and yelling at your child or getting frustrated and trying to get them to do something they just don't want to. You're thinking about how what they're doing is showing a need that they need to work through and how you can then support them. Some things you may be able to let them keep doing. Sometimes you might have to stop them, explain it to them, and then move on. Okay, guess this one, but you probably know what comes after the connecting schema. It is the disconnecting schema. So your child spends Christmas morning pulling apart all the crackers that have been on the table, or they've figured out how to take batteries out of all the toys, or maybe they see the train that's going around the bottom of the Christmas tree and they start taking apart all the train tracks. How to explain? You could say, I'm sorry about that, but my kid currently is engaging in the disconnecting schema. They're learning about how things come apart and they're exploring the reverse of connection. What they're doing is they're developing their fine motor skills and learning how objects work. So again, you could see if there's any toys or activities around that they can disassemble, maybe pop-up beads, maybe building blocks, and gently remind them to keep the more delicate items intact and that some things are for everyone to enjoy. Okay, another one for you to guess. So you've got the Christmas tree all lit up and your child goes, shimmies under and lies underneath looking up inside to see the lights from the inside. Or they climb into the back of the sofa and go upside down to see the room from a different angle. Have you guessed the orientation schema? What you could do is explain to your relatives or friends that orientation schemas often show up when kids want to explore different perspectives. What they're trying to understand is their environment from different angles. It's how they learn spatial awareness and new ways of seeing the world. What you can do? Maybe join them. I personally haven't lay under the tree and had a look on the inside, so I think I'm going to do that right after this. But what you could do if you need to redirect is allow them safe opportunities to explore different orientations, like lying on the floor to look at the lights in a different place, or setting up a mirror to give them a new view. Okay, we're at number 9, the transforming schema. So it's dinner time, everyone's sitting down having a lovely time, and then suddenly you realise all eyes are on your child as they get everything, the cranberry sauce, the turkey, the ham, the mashed potato, and mix it all together. And then they start picking it up and putting it into their drink. Or maybe you've finished doing the presents and they start ripping up all of the wrapping paper and making it into confetti. What you can do is explain, oh, yep, this is all about transforming. Kids love experimenting with how materials change when combined, torn, or squished. I know it's messy, but it's their way of being little scientists. If it's just staying on their plate, maybe just leave them to it. Say, hey, they're just enjoying it. But what you could do is you could also give them an outlet for this urge like Play-Doh, or encourage safe space to experiment later, such as maybe whipped cream into the hot chocolate, which might be a little bit more appropriate for Christmas Day. Okay, the last one, number 10, is the positioning schema. So you have a plate of dessert and your child starts picking up all of the Christmas cookies and lining them up in a perfect row, or insists that all the napkins need to be put just so on the plates at the dinner table after they'd already been set up. So what you may need to do is say, hey, food is only for touching with tongs or not for touching at all. But what you might do is explain that these positioning schemas are about organising and arranging objects. Kids working through this schema love creating order. It's their way of exploring patterns and symmetry. So what you could do, especially if you know that they're working through the schema before you get to the Christmas place, is let them help organise, help them do the table setting, arrange decorations, give them control over different tasks that can satisfy their need for order. Give them tongs or gloves so they can really get into it. That was the last of the top 10 play schemas. And what I'd love you to do now is take a moment, take a break, and think about how you'll share these insights with your family, friends, partner before the big day. Let's front foot it before things actually happen and help everyone appreciate the magic of play schemas in action. So whether you bring it up in conversation or maybe you send them over to the freebie, let's make this Christmas season fun for all. So remember, if you do want these few pages that have all the ideas already on it, you can head over to playschemas.com/free to get it. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Demystifying Child's Play through Play Schemas. And remember, if you think you need a deeper dive or you've got any questions, please flick me a message, either on socials using @play_schemas or through my contact page on the website, playschemas.com. I look forward to you joining me next week as we unpack more about demystifying child's play through schemas, and I hope you're taking into your day some new ideas and insights to help you connect with your child in meaningful ways. And Merry Christmas! Enjoy all the festivities! If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss on future tips, tricks, and those aha moments, and then share it with other parents and caregivers who are also ready to explore the power of play schemas. Remember, you can head over to the blog if you want more information or the downloads at playschemas.com/007 for this episode for the show notes and any bonuses attached. That's playschemas.com/007. And remember, I'd love to hear your playtime stories. Whether you're celebrating a win or trying to crack the mystery behind a new behaviour, I'm here for it. Reach out to me or drop me a message. And until next time, say it with me, today is a great day to play, and a Merry Christmas! If you've ever wished that you had a group of parents who just get it, I would like to welcome you to the Play Schemas Collective. It's where you can ask questions without judgment, share those little wins only another parent would understand, and dive deeper into your child's play with people who speak your language. Join us at playschemas.com/collective for more information. We can't wait to have you on the inside. If you've ever wished that you had a group of parents who just get it, I would like to welcome you to the Play Schemas Collective. It's where you can ask questions without judgment, share those little wins only another parent would understand, and dive deeper into your child's play with people who speak your language. Join us at playschemas.com/collective for more information. We can't wait to have you on the inside.